Stand by me, Ed.
Let's stand by me.
Not stand by me, Ed, but stand by me. Looks good, but I recognise a couple of chords and I can see where your fingers are going, but I'm not quite clued into how you play that properly. So, is there any chance of showing me how?
So this is a C chord.
Whereabouts are your fingers there, Ed?
Fingers are... This one is on the second string, on the B, fret number 1. And then you have a open string. And then my middle finger is on the second fret on the D string. And then third finger goes on the third fret on the A string. Make sure you got the open G and the open E.
So 3 fingers, 3 frets.
Yeah, and 5 strings.
Yeah, all 5 strings.
2 open strings, yeah.
Right. So looking at, if you start off at the top here, that one's open.
That one is actually
down.
not being played.
Oh, it's not being played.
I avoid that, yeah.
Yeah. So that one not played. That one finger down. That one open.
Finger down.
Finger down there.
Finger down, yeah.
Then that one
is open.
And then second from the bottom is finger down on the first fret. And that one's open and played, isn't it?
Open and played, yep.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's a C chord.
C.
Right? What's the next one?
The next one is A minor. It's very, very similar. This finger goes underneath this one on the second fret on the G string.
Right, so let's have a look closely at that, Ed.
So that's A minor. And you have the 5th string open. Again, I don't use the E string.
So that string's not used. You start plucking there, which is open, and then these 2 are covered by your fingers on the 2nd fret, and that string is covered by your first finger, 1st fret. That one's open, isn't it?
This one is open, yeah.
Yeah. Great. Okay, so that's A minor.
A minor.
So you've got C, A minor, and what's the next chord?
F. That's the awkward one.
That's a difficult one. Show me a full F. What should it look like?
A full F.
Yeah.
Now you're talking.
Okay. Now I usually played it like a bar chord. I would put my finger straight across there.
That's a very advanced chord.
That's a hard one because obviously your hand starts to hurt, doesn't it? So what's the cheat then? What's the easier method?
Wow.
It's almost like a C, isn't it?
It
looks like a C to me.
One finger, my first finger holds down 2 strings on the 1st fret.
Yeah, as opposed to C.
Just put a bit of pressure on it, press down, squeeze between your thumb and the rest of your fingers. Second finger is on the 2nd fret on the G string, and then the 3rd finger is above that one, so we are on the D string, fret number 3.
Yeah, gotcha.
So one finger holding down 2 strings, and then it just goes up.
Yeah.
This finger, 1 string up on 2, fret 2. 3rd finger, 1 up again, fret number 3. Job done. F.
That's F. Brilliant. So go through them again. You got C.
C.
Yeah. C. Move your fingers up. Right. Then A minor.
A minor.
And then F.
And then F.
And those are the 3 chords for Stand By Me.
4 chords. 1 more to come.
Go on then, I'm rushing you.
And that is the G.
Aha. Right.
Which I'm not even sure how I played it. There's different ways. Really? Let's just go for this one.
The simplest way. Right. Looks like you've got.
I've got my 3rd finger, ring finger, on the 3rd fret on the 1st string, on the E string, the high E.
Yeah. That's the lowest string on
Then I have my B string, 2nd string is open. Nothing at all. G string is open. That's the string above. So there's nothing there.
We can't see these. So that string's down, that's open, that's open, that's open as well.
It is open as well.
And then it's these 2.
Those
which
2
are covered, aren't they? Which is on...
The very first bass string is on the 3rd fret, my 2nd finger is doing now.
Yeah.
And my 1st finger is on the 2nd fret.
Next one down is
on the 2nd bass string, your A string.
And there's your G.
That's G.
Right. Okay. Okay, so we've got the C chord, A minor, G and F.
F and G.
F and G, those are the ones, right? Okay, and so how do we string all that together to make it sound like Stand By
Me? Now
Me?
we're going to do Stand By Me. We're just strumming those chords we just played.
Okay.
So no bass line yet, just strums. The rhythm is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. The next one. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. F. 2, 3, 4. G. 1, 2, 3, 4. C then again. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then C again. That's just playing the song without using bass lines, just the chords.
Now, are you using, when you say bass lines, are these the strings here?
The bass
using
notes.
Then? The bass lines.
That, yeah, little bass riff, bass line.
Okay, so that's worth maybe looking at next to see how we can blend that in together, is it?
Yeah.
So once you've got the hang of your C, your A minor, your F, and then your G, and then back to C, then that's the next stage, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, right, let's see where those
bass lines
should be. So for your bass strings then, Ed, how many strings are you actually playing?
The bass notes, the bass lines, I'll play 2 strings really. On my 2 bass strings, on the E, the low E and the A. Just E strings.
Right, so just those 2 to play.
Yeah.
Okay, far away. So what's the order?
The very first note is on the 3rd one, 3rd fret on the 1st bass string, if you like. So it goes like that note first. 2nd note is on the 2nd fret of your 2nd bass line.
Yeah.
There. And then the 3rd note is the 3rd fret up on the same bass string.
So you're back to so it's 3, 2, 3, isn't
All
it?
together it's like 3, 2, 3.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what would you play on the chord after that then? Is that the C?
A C.
Right, run that through.
So you got that bass line. 1, 2, 3. Play the bass line, then strum the chord a little bit later after you played those bass lines.
Okay. And then what's next? It sounds like you might go backwards again.
For your next chord, or next bass line I should say, you actually start where you left it. So you start on fret number 3 on the 2nd bass string on the A. Fret number 3, then you go to fret number 2. And then the open string.
And that's your 2nd string.
And that's
same
the
again.
2nd
So
string.
it's all there, so it's 3, 2, 0 really, isn't it?
3, 2, 0. Then after that you put your A minor chord in.
Gotcha.
And then you can play the same thing again for the 2nd bar of that chord. Again, 3, 2, open, A minor.
So that's twice again, right?
Then it changes, go to the F chord. The bass line for the F chord is the open A string,
So
2nd bass string.
2nd string, yeah.
And then we play the 3rd fret on your 1st bass string, on the E string. And then you go to the 1st fret on the 1st bass string, the E. So you do that again, open, 3, 1. After that you put the chord there,
And this is your
the F chord,
chord.
which may be a little bit awkward for some people. Do it again, open string, open A, 3 on the E, 1 on the E, then put your F chord there. And then for the next chord, the G, you start where you left it the previous
See,
bar.
it sounds like you always start where you left off.
That's always the case. Yeah, very consistent. So we start on 1 on the bass string. 1, 2, 3, and that 3 is also the beginning of your G chord. And that's that for that chord. Do that again. So we get 1, 2, 3, then the G chord. And what you play at the end of the song is the same as at the beginning of the song.
Back to your C chord. Then,
Back to the C chord, so you play again where you left it with your G, fret number 3 on the bass, 3, remember 2 on the A string, 3 on the A and the C chord. That's 1 bar. Do that once again. And then you're back at the top of the song, starting again with C, like what we said before. So be again 3, 2, 3, and the full C chord then.
Great. Run it through then, Ed. Let's see it all.
All together?
All together, please. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do the C.
A minor. Now the F. Going to G. Back to C. At the end of the sequence. Back at the start of the song.
And there we go. So that's Stand By Me with chords and bass lines.
Lines.
Excellent.